I wanted to give a message to parents, just kind of some insight on what I've learned over a long period of time, but especially today when it comes to raising children. Children today are not disciplined or given enough solid structure to live within so that they can make clear choices on what's best for them in life. They are growing up looking to be more entitled, and in some cases they are more entitled because they feel like the rules don't apply to them all the time. Now, parents in my office don't want to hear this most of the time. But I'm going to tell you, when it comes to boundaries, one of the most difficult things for parents to do is follow through. I can give you a quiz. The best ways to handle situations, what should be disciplined, and whether something's appropriate or not for your children, and you would be able to tell me, yes, that's appropriate, no, that's not appropriate, yes, they should act that way, no, they shouldn't be able to act that way. Parents really do, for the most part, know what's right, what's wrong, what's okay, what's not okay. Here's the challenge. We've gotten to a point in our world where we try to make things workable. We try to help children recover from, fix a problem. We almost try to help children not get in trouble. Now, this goes counter to previous generations, especially a couple of them back, where it's like, we want you to get in trouble because that's what's going to show you which way to walk in this world. I want you to get in trouble, to be disciplined, to be punished the way it was in the past, so that you learn your lesson. And when you learn your lesson, you don't do it anymore. It's like touching the hot stove, right? I'm not touching one of those anymore. But one of the things I'll say that a lot of therapists won't say, parents have become way too soft. Parents have become way more detached. In our advent of technology and the way that we communicate in this world, which is much less face-to-face and much more by texting or messaging, it's become easier to unplug. And parents today, I know this is not popular, and you probably, a lot of you might not like me saying this, but this is really honest facts about what needs to happen in this world. Parents have got to try to determine what's okay and what's not okay in your home and in your family, because I can't tell you the rules you should make. I can tell you what I think is healthy or not healthy. I just am not going to be the one to tell you what you should and shouldn't do in your home. But I want you to discover what is okay and what's not okay. The language children use, the way that they react or act, the way that they appreciate or not appreciate authority, the way that they treat other people. All of these things are important in a family so that children know, what are the boundaries here? Where do we stand? So a parent typically will tell me today, well, I know they shouldn't be able to just stay on their computer or their phone or just go over to their friends or avoid responsibility. They should be doing their homework or cleaning up or helping out, but a lot of children don't, and a lot of teenagers don't. And parents will say to me, but if I do something about it, if I take their phone away, or if I don't let them go out with their friends, or if I don't let them participate in the sport they're in, if I don't let them, it's gonna be more miserable, Tom. I don't wanna go put the hammer down, draw the line, and set a boundary and a consequence so that they have to accept responsibility for their behavior. I'd rather just try to find a way to convince them to not do that anymore. And so parents will say, it's too hard to go set a boundary because I know the backlash I'm going to get. That means your children have way too much power in the home. That's just truth. And if they have too much power in the home, then it's time to take that back. And the way that I tell parents to take it back, little bit at a time. When you set a boundary, set it on something you know you can follow through with. Don't go out and try to draw the line, draw the limit to 10 different things if you can't follow through with all of them. Try to set boundaries so that you can follow through. Don't fight children. I hear way too many stories of parents getting into battles, pulling laptops back and forth, trying to chase down phones. Don't do it. But you have to be serious. And if it means somebody loses their phone and they don't want to give it to you, that's okay. They're going to go to sleep at night. Grab something then. They're going to go to school the next day. Grab whatever it is out of the room then. If they hold on to it and they smuggle it with them wherever they go, turn off the device. With a computer, turn off the Wi-Fi in the home. Don't just try to hide a cord, because they'll find a cord somewhere else. Don't get into a face-to-face battle, but you might have to shut the phone down. Call the phone company. But you have to be ready to say, this is not going to happen. And if you choose to push it to the point where you're losing this phone, which means I'm going to call a phone company and I'm going to shut it down and you have nothing else, then you have to follow through, and that might be the last phone you ever get for them. You got to be prepared for that. The world doesn't end because that happens, parents. It doesn't. Because the most common response then is, but they need their phone for school. No, they do not need their phone for school. They can use their phone for school. There are computers to use at school. There's a computer they can use at home when you're standing there, right there with them at the kitchen table, that you can let them use. But they do not have to have this, and they don't need phones to be able to get in contact with you. I know you feel like they do, but that's their trump card so that they can keep a phone. I need this phone, Mom and Dad. You really don't, honestly. You can survive without it. It's not going to be easy. It's like a car. I need my car. No, you don't need your car. It helps a lot. But if you're going to act in a way that says, I don't care what you say, I'm going to do whatever I want, Mom and Dad, then we need to do some changing here. I'm a pretty straightforward guy when it comes to parenting, that if you want change to happen and your children are not acting appropriately, whether it's 5, 15, or 25, then you have to be age appropriate, ready to draw the line, so that a really young child might lose their bedtime routine. A school-age child might lose the opportunity to have their phone or go to friends' houses. A teenage child might lose the opportunity to have a phone, a computer, a car, sports, and anything else that's in the way. Remember this, until they are able to respect authority enough to do what you need them to do, to act the way they need to act, to talk the way they need to talk, to use the tone that they need to use, so they can have all of these things back. One of the quotes I remember from a long time ago, somebody told me, and I don't know who said it, but it was, I want to give you everything in the world, but I owe you nothing. I may want to give you everything, son or daughter, but I owe you nothing. That is something that's critical for parents to know. I want children to grow up with as much possible opportunity to thrive in this world, but I do not want them feeling entitled to have, to get, to be anything in this world just because they exist. They have to appreciate authority, they have to respect authority, and they also have to learn their place in the world. And that means helping out at home. That means taking care of responsibilities at school. That means having some type of manners and respect and appreciation for authority, even if they don't like it. Because if a child has a hard time with a teacher, and I even don't like the teacher, I still demand that a child respect the teacher because they're the authority figure. I need to do the same. And part of this comes modeled from parents. But parents, remember this as a final note. You can't let your children's power, rebellion, backlash, the fear of it, take you over when it comes to discipline or setting up boundaries in the home. Children need to learn. They won't want to willingly do things all the time. They need to learn how to participate and be a part of a family in order to have the life that they have. So go out there, figure out what's okay and what's not okay in your home, write that stuff down, and say, which one can I pick first to draw the line on, and say, when you choose to act this, when you choose to do this, when you choose to speak like this, whatever it is, you are going to lose this. You are not going to have the opportunity to do this. And until you do these things, all of this over here will just be removed and put aside. And I promise you, it's going to change the way your children see you, no matter the age, and it's going to change the feeling of power and strength and leadership you have inside your home. This is not talking down to children, and I don't want you to demean children, to put children down, or to be nasty to children. The tone of voice and the volume of a parent is critical, to be steady, and I'm just following through. I'm just carrying out the discipline of this home based on the choices you make. The choices you make give the consequences you get. That's all based on you. You can do this. Go out there and do it.